It seems like this is becoming a recurrent theme in a Fortnite, and that is controversy, guys. Last week we had the big controversy regards to the PlayStation 4 Nintendo, and that still controversy still persistent and it's still existent. But today we have a brand new controversy, and you're probably wondering, Laser, what are you talking about? Well, in today's video we are going to discuss the big nerf that's being splattered all across Fortnite and the nerf coming to building, yes guys, and materials. So let's go ahead and jump into the subject and talk exactly about what is happening with the nerf that's going to be laying down. So yesterday, mid-afternoon, Fortnite dropped the hammer, dropped the bomb on everybody with a new update called Counterplay and Playstyle. Now, I had a little bit of a discussion on stream last night, and we were kind of bouncing ideas back and forth. But let me read to you guys exactly what is happening and what the heck is Counterplay and Playstyle. So this is what Epic said. We are going to continue to make changes to evolve the game to give players multiple ways to counter each other in combat and create more strategies to win the game. Fortnite is constantly evolving. Our goal with any changes is to keep the game fun and interesting, keeping it feeling fresh and new. It is important to support a variety of late game strategies that don't boil down to just building. Laugh out loud. We strongly believe that the evolution of Fortnite supports a wide range of playstyles and counterplays. Currently, the superiority of shotguns, rockets, and uncapped buildings are such a domination playstyle in the final circle that most other strategies are being drawn out. That is why recent and upcoming changes, we have made a few changes recently and will continue to make more to give you options to counter other players in combat, especially in late games. We are exploring changes to weapon balancing and resource economically, like resource cap. Now moving forward, you should be able to find victory royales through multiple strategies. Shotguns should be strong, but other weapons have room to grow. Not every encounter should have to end in a build-off. We want to empower you to showcase your skill, strategy, and tactics in all variety of ways. We'll be exploring these changes over the next few weeks. We're excited to hear your thoughts and encourage you to participate in the discussion on our various social channels. So now it's time to begin the discussion, guys, and I want to know your guys' point of view. I'm going to make a couple points, a couple suggestions. I'm going to bounce a couple ideas at you guys, and I want to know in the comment section down below, not only do you agree with me, if you disagree with me, what do you think of this nerf, and if you guys have any suggestions that you think would actually benefit the game more in making it a little bit more engaging and have more strategy, definitely drop them in the comment section down below. So let's go ahead and start off by dissecting the first kind of sentence that they put out. So it says, it is important to support a variety of late game strategies that don't boil down to just building low. So laugh out loud, right? So how many of you guys, I want to know in the comment section down below, have come to the conclusion that when you're about to win the match, or when it's like two teams left, one team left, do you encounter a person that's sitting on a 1x1 super high up in the air? I want to know like a percentile. If you guys could definitely leave that in the comment section below, just tell me, Laser, my percentile is 20%. 30%, 100 being that every time you get to the last fight, you see someone on a 1x1 or in a big building, that would be 100%. If you see people that don't usually do that when you encounter, and people don't usually build, then, you know, reduce the amount to like 20, 10%. I kind of want to know exactly how much of a big problem this is with you guys when you guys are playing. Now as for me, the majority of the time it's dependent on the game mode that I'm playing. If I'm playing a solo match, yes, the majority of the time that, you know, the game's about to end, then maybe there's one person or two people off, everybody's like on their tower, you know, everybody's on the Trump tower, you know, they build or whatever, everybody's using like their tower bases. You hardly ever see people just kind of chilling on the outskirts and you know, waiting to take a shot. And the majority of the time what tends to happen is the person who builds the tower the first is the person who ends up winning. Now, usually build-offs don't really happen or really don't occur that much, because two things tend to happen. Either you have two people who are really good and start building like crazy, or you have a person that doesn't know how to build and doesn't build at all. So the person who's sitting up on their 1x1 will automatically win the fight. So I think this is what Epic is trying to do. Epic is trying to avoid people just sitting and camping on a 1x1 to win the game or conclude the game. Now, unfortunately, the solution that they found to this is making it where the person doesn't have enough materials to build that 1x1, and if they do have enough materials, by the time they build that 1x1, they won't have enough materials to build up another one. And they're trying to make it so, for example, let's say he's up on the 1x1, you shoot the 1x1 down, the person will be out of mats, so they won't be able to build that 1x1, so they're going to have to find another way to actually kill you, or make it easier for the person who doesn't know how to build it, doesn't have enough mats to be able to overcome the person who's sitting up on their tower. Now, I know what a lot of you guys are saying, or like saying in the back of your mind, but that's the whole point of Fortnite, right? The whole point of Fortnite is to build. Not only that, but you guys are reducing the gap, the skill gap, because building takes skill, and if you reduce the amount of materials you have, not only will you have less materials to build from, and it's going to make the game a little bit more campy, because people are going to think this way. Let's say the cap is 700 to 500 mats, right? Now, if you think how much materials it takes to actually fight someone when you're doing a build-up, you can go buy 400 mats really, really fast. So let's say the cap is 500. You're building off, you're fighting someone, you're engaging someone, you spend your 400 mats, and you only have 100 mats left after you concluded the fight. How about if someone just comes in and swoops in, that still was camping on the outside of the map, comes in, swoops in, I'll build you because you're completely out of mats or walls, or has an LMG, a rocket, and you're no more able to build or protect yourself because you've ran out of mats. And that's kind of the scenario we're looking at. Everybody's kind of a little bit trippy because they're like, we don't have enough mats. How are we going to protect ourselves? How are we going to defend ourselves in late rounds? And does this make the game more campy? Because you're not going to want to waste your mats, especially in endgame. You want to make sure you have enough mats in case you're either getting shot at or you want to push someone. It's also going to reduce the amount of people who are going to be pushing, because you're not really going to want to spend your mats on pushing someone. You're mostly going to want to spend your mats on protecting yourself or building a little base if you need to heal yourself, or if you need to do some sort of coordination with your team. So it might make the game a little bit more campy. But I want to know from you guys, do you think reducing the amount of mats will make the game a little bit more camp? Now, the next snippet I want to take out of this statement is the fact where it says we want to increase the variety of late game strategies. Now, they believe that they could increase the amount of strategies on the game based on the new stuff they implemented. So let's talk about stuff that's being brought into the game. So we had the jetpack that came into the game. We also had the new jump pad that came into the game. We had the stinky bomb that came into the game. We also have the kind of like the thermal scope rifle that also came into the game. So there's different things that they're implementing to the game where you could actually strategize. Now, out of all these items I mentioned, I want to take one that I believe I kind of see what they're going with. Okay, so for example, the stinky bomb. The stinky bomb is a kind of a bomb that I don't see too many people using, and it's a really effective kind of grenade. Not only is it effective in the sense that it creates a lot of smoke, so it's a good way to run away, or you're trying to hide or trying to avoid getting caught by someone that's pushing you, but it's also a very effective grenade to use, especially if people are on a 1x1, or they build a little base around themselves to kind of reheal, or instead of shooting down the wall and keep spamming it, you just throw stink grenades, and not only does that either kill the person who's inside, or what that does, it also forces them to leave that structure and come outside. So I do see that being part of a strategy. I also see the jump pad being a part of a strategy as well. If you need to get off a building that you're built too high up, but then they want to avoid you from building. So I really don't see how this one would work so much. Mostly primarily to like jump from side to side. Now, what makes this interesting, if you think about it, they took away the guided missile. And the guided missile was a weapon that could have been used very strategically and could have avoided this controversy that we have right now. Because what happened with the guided missile, and the biggest complaint of the guided missile, was that the guided missile was too OP. And what happened is this actually kind of upsetted a lot of the community or the pros, because they felt that it was benefiting the people who didn't have skill on building. So it looks like we're reverting back. I mean, if you just think about it, if they were to bring back the guided missile, it would reduce the amount of people who are building 1x1. So why would this reduce the amount of people? Because the guided missile, you were able to loop it, you were able to guide it, you were able to move it around its structure, you were able to pinpoint where you wanted the rocket to hit. And just little subtle changes like this would actually solve the issue that they're trying to fix with reducing the amounts of materials you're able to have. Another thing that could possibly reduce the materials they could have have, but I don't know how they would pull it off, is reduce the height of the storm to avoid people from building too high up. But this could be a little bit controversial because how about if you mess up and you build a little bit too high, or you use a jump pad and you get too high up in the air and you take damage from the storm? It's something to tinker with, but I think with adding weapons and adding different sorts of mechanics to the game, they don't need to reduce the amount of materials. They just need to make weapons to actually counter people who build. Because what tends to happen, and let's be honest, guys, the majority of the time you see people winning the game is because they have a really high base. It's very rare that you see someone building, winning on certain gun skills or any sort of other way. It's just build-offs are usually the way that, wins tend to happen. And they're trying to change this. They're trying to change it where, you don't have to just be a pro builder to actually win. Yes, it caters a little bit and it takes less of a learning curve, but I think what Epic is trying to do is they're trying to make it where you're able to win in different ways with different scenarios. Now, I think my suggestion of bringing the guided missile back would actually solve this and would make it a lot easier for other players to be able to kill the people who are up on the 1x1 without having to build, because they could definitely shoot that guided missile from the air. And for people who disagree with the guided missile, it's so easier to counter the guided missile. Come on, guys. If you guys could build a 1x1 and could build, you guys could counter a guided missile without a problem. Now, I think one of the key factors that Epic is missing here is the fact that what happens in the game when the game becomes a little bit boring. For example, the majority of the time you're playing Fortnite, you'll have these matches where you drop into a hot zone, you kill everybody, but there's like a span of time where it's like between 5 to 7 to 10 minutes where you're looking for people to kill, right? Because either the reduction of the amount of people who are available to kill are spread out throughout the map. And the only thing you're able to do within that span of time that you're trying to find someone else to kill is farm. So if you reduce the amount of farming material you obtain, then that means you're going to have less things to do during that span of time when you're trying to find someone to kill. So let's say the gap is 500. You could easily get 500 with super duper fast. Depending where you land on, you can actually get it within a minute. Now, keep this in mind. If you already have enough wood and enough material, and you're gonna, you kind of already killed 3 people, and you're looking for someone else to kill, what are you gonna do during that time that you are kind of searching for stuff? You could technically loot, but one thing that becomes very predominant in the game is you want to loot and get harvest as you go, so you can have enough mats as you progress through the game. So I think reducing the amount of mats will make the game a little bit more tedious when you're already maxed out what exactly you need to do with that, this kind of space that you have where you're trying to find enemies to kill. Now, I feel the biggest problem right now with Fortnite is that they're trying to cater to everybody, and I've seen this already happen with one game. If you guys have following the channel, you guys know what game I'm talking about. And what happened is the game was extremely successful, just like Fortnite is. And then what happens is you start catering because you want to make sure the game goes to esports. You want to make sure you're able to target that audience. And what tends to happen is with you being that hungry and that kind of wanting for the game to become an esport game, and at the current state that the game is structured, it cannot become an esport because there's so many variants, there's so many things that affect the way the game plays out. Not only that, but you get a lot of feedback from people who kind of are like pro gamers, and they tell you, what, maybe you need to reduce this, maybe you need to change this. And what tends to happen, yes, the game becomes a little bit more esports and becomes a little bit more friendly and more accessible to the esports community. But what tends to happen is you make the game less fun. And I've already seen this happen with one game already, guys. We had a very fun game. It had a little bit of errors, a little bit of things that needed to be tweaked. But what happened is they listened to the PvP community. They listened to the people who wanted to go pro. They listened to the people who wanted to go get the game on esports. And they killed the game. And then what happened? Those same people that built it and told them what to do left them for Fortnite. And they went and played another game that was more popular because the game died off. And I'm afraid the same thing might happen to Fortnite if this continues, because what tends to happen is if the game becomes less fun, a lot of people or a lot of the casual community will stop playing the game. They'll just they'll quit because they don't find the game fun anymore. And one of the components that makes the game fun is the fact that you have to build. The game is called Fortnite. You're supposed to build the fort. That's the whole point of the game. So, a lot of people like the building aspect because not only is it something new in gaming, it's something different that we haven't seen in different genres. And it also takes a learning curve. You're learning something different. It's not like any other game where you just hop in and start shooting people and killing them and, hope for the best. Yes, the game has faults. Yes, the game has bloom. Yes, the game has things that need to be tweaked, but we don't have to go so hard on reducing the fun aspect of the game in order to cater to the esports community. Now, don't get me wrong, I love esports. I really hope esports takes off, but I don't like the fact when companies or games try to take the fun aspect of the game in order to kind of succeed in the esports environment. Yes, I want the game to go esports, but we don't really have to take the fun out of the game in order to do that. But now, guys, it is time for you guys to chime in here and let me know in the comment section down below, what do you guys think? One quick point I did want to mention, guys, I hate that replay doesn't show the amount of kills I get. I really wish that instead of fixing all this, they would actually fix the replay where it actually shows the amount of kills I get. I believe in this game I dropped between 9 to 10 kills, or 7 or something around there. I don't remember exactly, but I really wish they would fix that, so you could definitely show that on the feed. And it was kind of funny because in this game there was a time where we were inside, I don't know if you guys noticed, in a 2x2, and we kept hearing footsteps. We were trying to figure out where the footsteps were coming until we actually found the people outside. But this game was actually pretty funny because the last kill is hilarious. So I highly recommend you guys stay and complete the full gameplay because it's really fun and engaging. Let me know in the comment section down below, what do you guys think of this nerf? Are you guys happy, disappointed? Do you guys think we should just chill, relax, and just let it see how it plays out? Maybe it's going to be good. Maybe it's going to make the game a lot more fun. Maybe the new weapons and the new stuff that they introduced to the game will give us better strategies to actually play the game. Let me know that information in the comment section down below. Don't forget, guys, if you want to stay up to date to everything Fortnite, click on any of the videos that are showing on the screen towards the end or on the description down below. And don't forget, guys, for all things Fortnite, make sure you guys keep it locked to this channel, and I will catch you guys on the next video.